motive. Won't you spare me over till another year?
Wasteland. Man, what a month it has been. An absolute monster of a month. I mean, 55 entries. 55! Our slowest month was February, where we had 5 finished entries. We've had 11 times that. But before we get into it, can I just say a massive thank you to our sponsor for this month, Hayland Wargames Terrain. Yes, their generosity truly knows no bounds. Not only have they given prizes for first, second and third place, but because of this sheer amount of interest and the amazing cars being put out, they doubled the value of all of the prizes. So first place will win £60, second place will win 40 and third will win 20. It is outrageous. Never before has that been done in Gaslands UK Car of the Month competition. So thank you so much, Hayland Wargames Terrain. Those vouchers are going to go to some amazing hobbyists this month. So let's jump straight into it. Now, I know what you're all thinking. 55 entries, so this video is going to be about an hour long if I was to talk about each one for a minute. Well, I'm not crazy. I have a life. I have things I need to do, cars that need to be built, my entry that needs to be sent off to one lucky winner. So, to jump straight into this, let us start with everyone who finished. I will not be going through everyone who entered because this video is long enough. So, we have Adam Drew, Andrew Page, Andy Horton, Bart Van Schaik, Ben Connolly, Benjamin Pop, Bill D. Cunningham, Braden Wachtel, Bruce Skakel, Chris John, Colin Tinigenhuis, Clayton Ryder, Dan KRAUSS, Fabiano Souza, Flo Jan, Frank Sorsan, Ian Barham, Ian Calver, Jaco Jacobs, myself, James Hall, Jay Conklin, Jean-Christian Matthew, Jonathan DeBacker, Kilgore MJ, Corey O'Corgan, Laurent Lavio, Linus Nilsson, Massiege Matrak, Matt Andrews, Matt George, Matt Weingast, Matt Reeve, Mick Allan, Mike Hall, Molinaro Dominique, Paul Barnes, Paul Bowles, Paul Chapman Moss, Peter Walsh, Sig Israel Avila, Quinn Allen, Ramon San Juan, Richard Bennett, Ricky Williams, Rodrigo Riviera, Valencia, Sam Wessels, Sebastian DeBays, Shane Hurd, Stephen K. Dowell, Tim Burrows, Tim Satley, Tobias Hutton, Tony Peacock, Wayne Thompson, and of course, Zippy Z Zoom. One absolute monster of a list of entries. I mean, 55, it's unheard of. I mean, it's gone on for so long that we've actually started looking at the pictures of cars. Now, as I said, I can't stop and talk about every single one. I would go insane, and as crazy as I already am, I don't think that'd be a good look for me. And besides, who'd be able to do Car of the Months then, eh? So yes, so we're going to enjoy the pretty pictures of cars and just bask in it together. I mean, the entries this month really have been stunning. And I know I say this each month because I like to encourage you guys to go above and beyond, but we've had so many brand new entrants this time round and so many really talented, solid builds. Like some brand new people like Bart Van Schaik here, absolutely spot on build. Like steampunk really put you guys through the ringer. We had some guys who just couldn't get their heads around the concept. Some of our old favourites were really struggling with it. I may note that Colin Harvard is not here with his 30 years of experience. But it really has been an amazing month for creativity. I mean, take Benjamin Pops here. I absolutely love this take on a steampunk hover car. Like that stained glass window effect. Oh my goodness, Ben, what an amazing idea. That is a technique that is so easy to apply, and I can see everyone doing it that way now. That is truly revolutionary, my friend. But it's been such an interesting and broad spectrum this month, because when I heard steampunk, my mind went straight for the gothic horror, and it looks like a lot of you guys went that way as well, which is really cool. But then on the other end of the spectrum, playing into childhood fantasy, you know, builds inspired by movies of the likes of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I mean, it's really quite incredible what people have been able to come up with. And at the same time, it all looks cohesive. Now, I found this month with my own entry that the real separating the men from the boys was figuring out in your own mind what steampunk meant to you. You know, were you just going to glue a load of brass and a load of pipes to a model, or were you going to try and make something that you wouldn't normally see in the Wasteland? And then how do you make it fit into the Wasteland? I mean, just look at Chris John's battle bus. I mean, it is absurd the amount of figures and character and detail that you were able to put into this build. And it's really seamless. I really like how you've managed to pull this off, Chris. But this is what this is all about. You will have some incredible entries, and you'll have some entries where people are really pushing the envelope on what it means to be a Wasteland Gaslands vehicle. You know, it's not just about hitting the theme, it's about making it fit in that world. Like Colin's work here. Fantastic. I mean, you look at Colin Tiniginhui's entry here, and I absolutely love the work he's done on this Frankenstein miniature. I think that looks so good. So good. And Dan KRAUSS, oh my goodness, that photo is so evocative. I love it. I want to see more. I want to see more from you just like that. Like the amount of people that went for walkers or aerial machines. And then, of course, my rival, my arch nemesis, Fabiano Souza, with the FO2 steam kettle. I had to invite him. I had to bring him in. The only man alive to ever beat me at a competition. I had to get him involved. Thank you so much for entering, Fabiano. But you had such a variety involved in this competition, from spider, you know, Wild Wild West inspired walker builds to hot air balloons and planes and dirigible driven cars. I mean, it's fantastic to see. And then you have some like Ian Barham here, where, bless him, you know, watching him, you know, with this forwards and backwards tug of war with this build, trying to make it work, and you see the state of the car he had to work with initially. Oh my goodness, you know, it's when people persist and they go the extra mile and they get it done. That's the kind of attitude that I can really look up to, and I think that's what this competition is all about. It's not just looking at pictures of pretty cars, although that does play a large part of it. It's also admiring the persistence that people have and the determination to make it work and get it done. And that's really what I like. You know, I love the creativity that you guys come up with. A lot of people ran the risk of falling into that trap of, oh, just slap some cogs and gears on it, slap some gauges and dials and whatnot, and we'll just call it steampunk without thinking about how it works or what it does. But you guys all really hit the nail on the head. These all look really cool, and I really like that. You know, Jay Conklin here, fantastic entry, absolutely spot on. But what can I say? I mean, we're only in the J's at this point. We're not even halfway through. 55 entries, 55. And I know for a lot of you, you know, you look at these videos and you go, well, I'm just here to see what he says about my build, and then I'm going to skip to the end and see who the winner is. And a lot of the time, I think the guys that do that, I think you really miss out on kind of admiring the creativity of your competition, as it were. Because there's a lot of talented people that we've got in this community, and a lot of the time it gets overlooked as we all focus on like who won, who did the best car, tell me that I'm the winner, you know, and that kind of mindset. We tend to sort of not appreciate the amount of creativity and the amount of persistence and the dedication that people have. I mean, Corey O'Corgan went from having a walker, he was going to put spider legs on it and have it be a walker, and then it became spring legs, and then it became this wonderful hot air balloon dirigible style. You know, it's fantastic. Laurent Levieux here, he just got so into making his steampunk build that he built 2 more extra cars. He started a whole gang from it. You know, it's how you take it and run with it that really matters. So I completely understand this month why people struggled, because steampunk, oh boy, it is not the first thing that comes to mind. But it's really watching the creativity, watching you guys figure this stuff out. And there were so many times I just wanted to show you guys how far I'd gotten and just be like, okay, let's talk about like individual builds and let's give some advice and let's get this going. But I couldn't. I was taking part this month. You're all my rivals. I wanted to beat you all. But considering I've got my own video coming out about my build, you know, I'm not going to show it in this video. Other than that intro, I couldn't resist. I think you guys have seen enough of my entry now. Although I know you're all wondering who's going to get it. Who do I deem worthy to have pushed the envelope enough? Maybe Matt Reeve. I mean, look at this. He made a boat out of an iron. A big boat on wheels out of an old iron. It's outrageous. Matt Weingust here with his, what is it, like a 1960s Ferrari or Porsche or something, and it's being, we'll just edit that out. Down to the M's. I mean, you take Mick ALLAN here, he made one entry and was like, I'm really enjoying fabricating parts for a car. I want to see if I can make a car literally from nothing. And that's what he did. Mike Hall, you know, took that wonderful classic hot rod base and just expanded on it and grew it into this enormous steam-powered machine. Like, I dread to imagine the amount of pressure that must all be under to get it to go. But then there are some takes like Molinaro's here that's just so out there and just such a different take on the whole thing. Makes me wonder if it really comes under the category of Wasteland. But I tell you what, it is amazingly, beautifully executed. Like, I tell you all, you know, if you want a solid like afternoon of just looking at inspiring work, just have a look at the entries that everyone put forward. I know it's easy when we've got over 1,000 comments on the competition post to kind of get lost in amongst it all. But when you start looking at some of the things people were able to come up with, like Paul Bowles' modifications, his 3D printed custom work that he's now looking at making for everyone to be able to do themselves at home, you know, it's absolutely spot on. It fits the theme to a T. And we're not even done yet. There's still more to go. We were talking amongst the admin team like how difficult it's going to be for the sponsor, for Hayland Wargames Terrain, to be able to pick 3 winners out of this. I had to separate it out into groups of 10, 5 groups of 10, and then another group of 5. And even that, it was difficult to try and come up with like a top 3. So I did not envy Hayland to try and pick winners from the assembled cards here, because there's so many just rock solid ideas and really inventive takes on such classic builds. As I literally die from talking too much. Big glug. Richard Bennett with his brass-clad eagle. I love it. I love seeing the creative takes people will have on all the various machines in this hobby. Ricky Williams, another absolutely rock-solid build. This guy was struggling with this, trying to figure it out from day one. But did he give up? Did he, fall out of fashion with it? No, he did not. He persisted until the very end. Amazing, amazing work from you guys. We've got such brilliant, rock-solid builds. And I'm just repeating myself. Blah, 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 blah. But ultimately this was the only way to do it, because if I was to stop and try and do just a minute talking about every single one, forget the beginning and the end of the video, this would go on for an hour. And as much as you all would say, oh, I'd love to watch an hour of you talking about toy cars, oh, that'd be so great. No, you wouldn't. Let's be honest here, boys and girls. It's like my friend Sebastian DeBays with his entry here. He'd done this whole thing, recorded his voice doing this public speak. I can't include it. It's too long. It's all too long. The video would go on for so long. Sacrifices, ladies and gentlemen, have to be made. And sometimes the hardest ones are the ones that we know are needed. Especially when you're looking at so many amazing and brilliant entries. Stephen K. Powell here with his wonderful custom woodwork. It's so simple, but it works so well because that shape is so iconic. That wonderful classic, almost fire engine shape. I love the fact Tim Burrows was one of the first people to finish. He wasn't the very first, but that electric effect was so good. Tim Satley, another rock-solid build. And Tim, make a Facebook account so you can take part. You don't need to email me. Make a Facebook account. It's really easy. Tobias Hutton with his, jet engine propelled carriage. That's one hell of a horse. Of course, crowd favourites like Tony Peacock returning to throw his hat into the ring. He managed to find time in between painting his new place. This is the blah blah blah. I can't think of any more words now. This is what I love about this community. This is what makes me want to get involved. This is what gets me out of bed in the morning. It's the wonderful things you guys can come up with. So I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking, now that we've finally looked at everyone, we're going to find out who the winner is. Oh yes. So once again, may I say a massive thank you to Hayland Terrain for sponsoring this month, and the prizes of gift vouchers, a £60 gift voucher for first, £40 gift voucher for second, and a £20 gift voucher for third. Immense generosity, but I think suitable given the absolute size and scope of this competition. But we can delay no further. That's right, it is time to announce the winners of this month's competition. So, in first place, he managed to beat out 54 other competitors. We have the winner of Gaslands UK Car of the Month for August 2020 is Frank Sorcian. That's right, Frank, come on down. You, Frank, are the winner of this month's competition. Out of 55 competitors, you came first. And you know what? I completely agree with Hayland Terrain. From the words of the sponsor himself, it is brilliantly detailed and looks like it comes straight out of a steampunk wasteland. The paint job is just spot on and the colours suit it perfectly. And you know what? I couldn't agree more. When you look at Frank Sorcian's entry, you don't think, oh, it's a steampunk car just dropped into Mad Max. And you don't think, oh, it's a steampunk car on a rampage. No, you think that Victorian England woke up one day and the sky had fallen in and the Armageddon had come early. It is Wasteland, and it is apocalyptic, and it is steampunk as all hell. And there is such a fantastic creative use of bits. As I've said many times before, it's the builds that inspire you to make one yourself that really win the ticket. So yes, congratulations Frank Sorcian, you have entered the Hall of Fame for this year, and a £60 voucher for Hayland Wargames Terrain is on its way to you now. But I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking, who wins second and third? Well, in second place, my old rival, the only man to ever beat me, we have Fabiano Souza. Yes, Fabiano. I bet you're happy I invited you to this competition now. But you look at the FO2 kettle, and there's no doubt that this thing is Wasteland and that this thing is steampunk. I knew if anyone could bring the heat this month, it would be Fabiano Souza. And I'm proud of what he has managed to achieve. Because you look at that base car and you go, oh, it's just a weird plain model. What are you going to do with this, Fabiano? Why would you pick that? That is not an easy model to work from. But then you see what he's come up with and you're like, just damn. Just damn. Hayland had this to say about Fabiano Souza's entry. It is a nice clean paint job, highly detailed, and an awesome scenic base to boot. It makes him think that it's a mixture, a combination of steampunk and Mad Max at its core, at the beating heart of it. You know what? I agree. Congratulations, my old rival. That's a £40 gift certificate on its way to you. And in third place, I know you're all wondering who won it, who would get the £20. There's still another prize. Who's going to get it? Well, in third place, it's the enormous steampunk scorpion school bus combo. That's right, Andrew Page, you have won third place. As Hayland Terrain put it, a really detailed and amazing job in combining all of these disparate parts and making it look natural. Easily could be used as a centerpiece on any steampunk table, and you know what? I completely agree. That is the kind of Truckosaurus I do not want facing me first thing in the morning. Well done, Andrew Page. A £20 gift certificate, it's on its way to you. But that is not all. Because we had 55 entrants and because the quality of what you guys were putting out this month was so good, my goodness, can I say a special thank you to Hayland Terrain, because they went even further and they have given out a fourth prize. That's right, four prizes this month. And the fourth prize is a £10 gift voucher, and that is going to Ben Connolly for his helicopter monowheel made from the lid from a jar of beads. I mean, no one saw that coming, Ben. It is absolutely spot on and just absolutely outrageously cool. And that is the 4 official prizes. But as I said last month, I wanted you guys to make the very best cars you've ever made in your life. I wanted to see the best builds, the kinds of things we've never even seen before. And there is someone amongst you, someone here that I feel who has for so long taken part in these competitions and has yet to win a justly deserved victory. So, out of the 55 competitors, I decided to pick Maciej Matrak and his entry with the official Wasteland seal of approval from my channel, because my goodness, that is a fantastic build and I love it. I love your work, Maciej, and I want you to continue to make rock solid builds in this competition and for this game. You know, I think it's outrageous that up till now you've not managed to win anything. I think it's just alien and besides me. And when I was building mine, it was you I had in mind to be one of the winners for this competition. So you know what? You've not disappointed, and you will receive my entry, Dead Reckoning. It is coming to you, my friend. Oh yes. And that is it, boys and girls. Out of 55 contestants, 5 of you have won prizes. What's that, like a 1 in 11 chance? A 1 in 11 chance to get first place or a prize or win my entry. But I know what you're thinking. Well, I thought this one was better, or this one should have had it. That's fair enough. And you know what? There is always next month, because, oh yes, as one competition ends, another begins. And with August out of the way, it is time to jump hands first into September. So, boys and girls, Wastelanders, I want to see what you guys can come up with for next month's competition. I will not be taking part now until August of 2021. So, thank you all for listening, Wasteland. Thank you all for taking part and bringing your A games. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, Wasteland. Like, I'll then edit this at the end, because I think, like, I know a lot of you probably clicked off the video now gone, oh, well, he said goodbye, that's it. But just to put in perspective what 55 entries really looks like, I mean, I was editing these into the video 9 at a time, and it was crazy. At one point I thought, well, what if I just grouped them all together on theme? So all the crab, spider-legged walkers in one group, and then all the dirigibles in another group, and all the land-based vehicles in another. And it was just, it's mental. I thought, right, I thought when I challenged everyone, I'd get like 5-6 more people than normal. But this month was a real perfect storm, because it was open globally, which always helps, and I was getting involved as well. And for some reason, steampunk initially turned everyone off. Like, it was like, oh god, I don't want to do this. Sticking cogs and gears on vehicles. Oh, this is going to be too campy. It's going to be rubbish. But then, like, a week into it, everyone was like, right, okay, let's do this. Steampunk vehicles. I've been waiting for this my entire life. Oh, dear.